Okay, so good afternoon and welcome back to today's lecture. Today, I want us to do the following. Number one is to clear the HTML template on our dashboard uh, so that we can just leave what we want and take away the rest of the stuff. We also want to learn how to update the menu, this part here, the menu. Really not much here, but we just want to put, it's like the features of our system on the menu. And then we also want to do the database. We just want to have a look at the database schema for a voting system. But how we're building this system really is in an ad hoc manner. We're building on the go. So we're not designing, then we build. That's how it's supposed to be done, design, then build. But for us, because it's just for learning purposes, we're just building on the go. So our database might not look exactly as the other schemas, but we can just have a general look and be able to see how that looks like. Then we can also learn about, we can also create a place where candidates can register. So that's what we want to do. So let's jump right into it. This is our, after logging in, I've just logged in. You can see that my name is here. So this is our dashboard. After logging in, we are brought here. So we just want to remove some of these things. Okay, so I'll go right ahead. I'll go right ahead to drive C 164 www. Then we have index. Where are you? Yeah. Okay. Okay, so this is our index. Let's see where the body begins. Here's the body. So we just want to study. You have to study it a little bit in order to understand what to remove. So like we have here the sidebar pro. So you can see it starts from here, it goes all the way to here. So just from the name, I'm sure you can guess what this is all about. So it's the left sidebar. It should be really this part of our site. These holds the whole of that. So the profile picture there, the name, the social media icons, and now the menu items and the sub menu. So if we go back here, I'm sure we can see that here is the logo. So we're going to use this for the profile picture. If we get time at the very end, I might show you how to upload a picture using PHP, a profile picture, and how to display it. So we're going to do it there. So we can just leave that one there. What else do we want to change? The next div here is for the profile. Really, it has the name and the social media icons. Maybe you can just remove the social media icons. So you can see here, we have the div for the social media icons. So for the Facebook, for Twitter, and LinkedIn, you can just remove that one. We don't need it for now. You can see how well the indentation of these divs and the HTML code between the divs is. So these indentions make it easy to read this code and to modify it. So that's why code indentation is important. Then the next part, left custom menu. So this is the menu. So now from here, okay, let me see. So we have e-commerce, then we have the submenus under e-commerce. Let me collapse this so that you can see. So we have e-commerce, we have mailbox interface, blah, blah, blah. So we have all those, and we have the submenus. I'm not sure we're going to be having submenus because we don't have a lot of, we really don't have a lot of we don't have a lot of what do we call it? We don't have a lot of menu items in our system, so we might not need the sub menus really. So for this e-commerce, we can use it for register. No, I'm trying to think. Vi, is that the correct one? I'm not sure. Vi. So that is what they're going to click in order to register to participate in the election as a candidate. So that is what that means. So I'll just go ahead and remove this, the submenus there, because we don't need it. I can press delete just to be sure not to mess up with the indentation. At this point, I can actually save, Control S, then I refresh and see how it looks like. Okay, so I have Vi. Okay. Okay. Let me see. What is this about? Has arrow. Submenu angle. Okay. Has arrow. Just a moment. I'm trying to make sense out of it. I haven't gone through this before. Inbox, view mail, compose mail, mailbox. Oh, that is for this one, mailbox. Okay, so for the mailbox, if you click on it, it shows inbox, view, mail, and compose mail. So again, we can remove this UL here. And here, maybe we can have vote or something like that. Then for the rest of the menu items, we can just remove them. If we want any other, we can just copy paste this one. So these other ones, we can just remove them. You can just see by the lists. These one removable, so up to here. Good. Okay, so good. Menu one. So it's close there, so that's okay. Good. So if we want any other, we can always copy paste this list item. If we want any other, so save, refresh. Okay, so now we just have the two, which is good enough. We can update it however we want next time. So let's now go to the main body. So the main body should be down here. We have all content wrapper. All content wrapper. So this one. We can, it's too long. It's too long. We go here. Goes up to line number 1336. Yes, it's quite long. So let's just try and understand it just a little bit. So we have the container fluid. Let me see, main logo. So here we have the main logo. Okay, let me try and see. I think should it be this one or something? I'm not sure. How to be sure, we can try and remove it. We can always undo, save, refresh. There's something there that that was separating this. I'm trying to scroll. Let's see, we are at the end. So there's something separating this div and the top bar here. So I think that is what we just removed. We can just undo, save it, refresh. Okay, but I can't really see a logo. At least we have that space. We don't want to tamper with that one, so we just leave it. We just leave it like that. Then we try and find this -1, a header top area. Okay, let me zoom out a little bit so that I can be able to see more. Message 16th step. I'm trying to find -1 and this welcome to. I can do Control F to find -1 dash this is the code for the mobile version. Welcome to Malika. This is for the mobile. The other one. Hey, how come? Only have one. Dashboard 1. Welcome to Malika. Dashboard. Oh, there it's dashboard 1. Let's try and change this and see whether it's the one. So I save, then we refresh here. Good, so it's the one. It changes to 2. Okay, so we just want this to be called dashboard, just like that. And then we want to say welcome, welcome the person who just logged in. So you just save this, then I scroll up to the side menu. We had already done that. We just want to echo the session for the first name. Where are you? Should be somewhere here. After the logo. Where is it? It's here. Okay, so we can just copy this. But here we echoed the first name and not the session. I think maybe because we had taken them here. Okay. So we can go ahead and copy that. So we can just copy this. Maybe we can just copy this. Just the first name. Okay. So that was line, and just use find again. Dashboard or welcome. Welcome to Malika. Hi. Okay, so it's here. So you can just print this one. I just paste that code there. We just want to echo the first name. So you can save this and refresh. Oh, we needed to say welcome. Welcome. Just like that. Just like that. Okay, so next we can try and find this orders, tax reduction, revenue, yearly sales. I'm thinking maybe we'll need them later, but for now we just remove them together with everything else that is here. And then if we need anything, we can take it. So we just leave this. Then the other part should be really blank. Okay? So let's see where this starts from and where it ends. Breadcrumb area. Yeah, I think that is it. So I think that is the breadcrumb area. Let me see this, the div here. Okay, so the container section, mean container fluid. So here what do we want to do? We can see orders 30%. So this is the div, row admin text center. Here we want a column that is 12. Let me see, where does that end? It ends here. Okay. Okay, so it's quite a tricky it's quite a tricky thing to play around with, really. But we can do this. Okay, what about this? Where do we go up to? Is up to here. 1000 yearly sales. Yearly sales. Okay. Yeah. So what about that? Okay. Section admin. Okay. So I think this is that up to that area is this part. Is this part here. So we can just delete it and see how it will look like. So just delete, save, and refresh. Okay, so now we don't have that. What else? So let's find product sales. It's here. So you can just see to which line, 855 to 922. So you can just highlight to 855, get rid of it. Also get rid of this traffic analysis. This one. So traffic analysis goes to 912. So to 912, like that. Just get rid of it. We save. We refresh. Okay, so that one also gone. Then we remove these images here. Okay, so product new list area, this one. It goes all the way to here, 896. Okay, so let's get rid of that. Save it, refresh. Okay, then order statistics, percentage distribution. Okay, so product sales. Okay, so we can also remove that. We can save. We can refresh. Okay, then we remove this. So slowly by slowly until we remove everything that we want to. Okay. The next will be the calendar. Did I save that? Refresh. Okay, and the last thing is the calendar. Calendar area. Okay. Container fluid. Okay. So let me just try and just remove this only and save. So what do I have if I do that? Okay. What if I undo? I just want to see whether I can be able to put a paragraph somewhere. Okay. Maybe H1. Close H1. Then maybe we want to say here. Oh, sorry. Trial. Save it. Refresh. It's gonna be like that. Okay. So what we can do, we just get rid of this too. Good. Okay, save it, refresh. Okay, so now we have the copyright. This copyright. Okay, footer copyrights, container, then some paragraph which is centered. Okay. Okay, so I think that is about it. This is like what we wanted to achieve for our first task. Maybe we can also change here. We have the logo and we have the name, and we also have this menu here, which you can also change just a bit. So we can scroll up. Okay. We can do a comment here so that we don't lose it. Okay, so this is where the body, the container of the body will go. Okay, so let's find Nalika. Control F. Nalika. Oh, we can also change this. The title. MMU voting system. Find next. Next. In a Nalika profile. So we have the logo, so I'm gonna change that. Let me see. I'm looking for this. Oh, the logo has this logo. I think has the name. Okay. So we're gonna change that. Okay. I think I've seen that. Okay, so we're going to change this logo later on, but let's also find this Advander Crow. Where are you? Advander Crow. Okay. So here again, let me see, are we are in the right place? Message, no. Control F to find next. Next. Okay, I think this is it. So this is it. This one here. So here again, we just want to output the name. We want to output the name of this particular person that has logged in. So we just want to output that. I think it's other names. So let's save it. Then we refresh. Okay, so we have that there. I think we're printing something. Okay. HTML character there. Save it, refresh. Okay. Then we can logout is working. We can just have my profile and edit profile. We can this can be a link to the dashboard or something. Quick access to the dashboard. We can remove this lock. Okay, so let's do that. So here, instead of register, this can be dashboard. So we can change this to index index.php, like that. Oh, sorry. My profile can remain. We can remove this lock. Okay, we remove it from there to there. Delete to delete that space. Settings. Settings will be okay. That can stay and logout can stay. Okay. Refresh. Okay, good. What else do we have here? News, activities, settings. We can remove these ones for now. I don't think we need it. We can just remove these ones. Okay, so let's remove those ones. We don't want a lot of code that we're not using. So let me just search news. Control F, then news. Okay, got you. So it's here. And nav setting, div, activity goes all the way. Okay. Okay, so it goes all the way to there. That is line number 670. Okay. 670. Let me see. Hi. News. I lost it. News is here. Activity settings. Notifications. They're here. All messages. Okay. One 126. All the way. No, it can't be that. That'll be too much. 126 up here. It will also go away with this one. Okay. I think it should be. Wow, remember we're just guessing here. Let me see, that is 821. 821. Let's get rid of this and see. 821. 821. Okay. Save it, refresh. I want to remove this. They had found it, but now. News, where is that news? No control, news. Activity settings, it's here. Okay, okay. 293. 293. that div is going all the way to 670. Good. That's what I wanted. 293. 293. Where are you? Okay. So here we are. 293. Good. Let's just get rid of that. Save it. Refresh. Okay. Okay, so now we don't have that. I think if we delete this list, then this will go. So refresh. Okay, so that's like it. That's like really what I want. Okay. So there can be some other things that we will get rid of, but right now we do not have enough time to get rid of everything that we should get rid of. So we will let our, you see, like some of these things, we just let our like this messages, notifications, these ones. These ones we can just let them be for now, because maybe we can find a way to use them later. We can just let them be because they're not very destructive. So I think for now we can use this as our initial template. Okay, so we've updated the menu, we've cleared the HTML template. We now want to have a look at the database schema. If we go to PHP admin, we have our database called voting, and we only have a single table. And if I click here on structure, the table is called user, and this is the structure. This is what we've done in the previous lessons. So now, generally, any system you create will have multiple tables that will have some relationship between them. That's why it's called a relational database, because really we have a relationship between different tables. So how to go about this is just to Google, for example, something like voting system database design or schema, something. And then you can even go to the images and have a look at a few. So for example, how can I? Oh, what is that? Let me save this so that we can be able to open it up. Okay. And zoom in. Okay. So, for example, this guy has a table called voter. It has the voter ID, group ID, a name, date of birth, photo, cell number, blah, blah, blah. So all that. Then you have another table called candidate here. Candidates. It has a field on biography. And then we have another table called winner. We have another table called election. We have another table called position. We have what else? Okay. And these are the relationships. It's quite long since I did database design, and therefore I can't remember clearly the name of these relationships, but it just means they're related in one way or another. For example, a winner wins elections. A candidate runs in a particular election, and the election has some positions and something like that. It's nothing very complicated, but for us, we are not designing and we're not going to follow exactly this. We're just going to be really doing random tables, but you can borrow from some of this. Like on this one, I think we can create a table called election. And then we have an election ID. We have the start date for the election, maybe the end date, the start time and the end time, and maybe some description about that particular election. The other one that I really wanted us to create almost like right now is the position table. I want us to create a position table. It will have position ID and the position name. And the reason as to why I want us to do that is because we want to do candidate registration. So in order to have candidate registration, we must create this. What else? Also, I've just seen election. Maybe you can look at another schema. This one here has even more. So let me just save this. Save image. Then you can open it up. Anything we can learn from this one? This one even has a constituency, district, county, something like that. City. Okay. The most important ones, for example, the candidates. We will also have, by the way, we will also have a table for the candidates. So we're also going to create that. Let me just note this, some of these things that we are saying here. Tables. We can have a table for candidates. We can also have a table for positions. Those are the two that we really need. For election, I think we can also have a table for results. Not sure how these others are handling it. Okay. I think for results, these guys are calling it polling center or something. Quarter, voter is our user table is our election type, election cycle, voter ballot, nominating. So we don't have nominations, we don't have constituencies, so ours is going to be a little bit simpler. Okay, we're done with that. Any other we can have a look at? Let's see what this one has. Save it. Just trying to borrow a few ideas. So I'm doing this deliberately so that you can see really the procedure of building your own web project. Really, you don't have to design perfect at the beginning. You can make little but consistent progress, and within time you'll have a very complex system. Okay, this one is simple. I like it, almost like what we are going to have. So we have the user table here, then they're also saving the data about the user login. Then you have the vote information, like it has the election ID, the candidate, the user ID, the vote, and the vote time. I think this is this really this is the, for us, we're going to call this table the results table. Then this is the election table. We're also going to have it with an election ID, election name, and description, and maybe the date for that particular election and the time when it's going to be on. Then the candidate, we're also going to have this candidate table, but we're not going to a candidate must be a voter. So we already have these details. So we're not going to repeat this on our candidates table because we already have them here. So we are going to just replace this with the voter ID. So yes, they're going to have a candidate ID, then the voter ID. So if we want their name, their date of birth, we just pick it from this table. So that's the kind of relationship that we're going to have. For campus voting, we do not have party. So I think by looking at the three designs, we kind of have some ideas of what we want. So let's go ahead and create a table. Let me see. Oh, sorry, that's not what I wanted. Hey, Control Tab is not working. Okay, so candidate. No, I think we can begin with this one for positions. I wanted to have the fields ID. My keyboard is sleeping. I want this to have ID, then position name, and then what else? Maybe description. If we want anything else, we can add. So let's see here. We can come and click on new here. Then table name, we can call it positions. Then we can have the ID. The ID auto increments primary key. Primary. Okay. Then you can have the name for the position. We can have the description for the position. So this is voucher. Name can go up to 50. Description can be just a statement about that particular position, maybe as it has been described in the Constitution, but I don't think it's very necessary. For the comments here, we can do a comment here. Name for the elective post as per the Constitution. Summary of the what? Summary of the duties and responsibilities of the position as per the Constitution. Okay, then you can click save. Display with out of range description maximum. Oh, okay. So description there maximum should be 255. So you can just have it as 255. So now we have this table, positions, and for this one, I just want us to insert the positions manually. So I'm just going to click insert here. So we're not going to fill the ID. We're just going to fill the name, president. We're also not going to fill the description for now. So we're just going to leave it blank. We can also have vice president. Insert a new row here. Insert new row. Just click go. Okay. The two rows have already been inserted. I was thinking I was going to add more. Okay. So you can just add the others by clicking insert here. Where do you add more insertion points? Continue insertion with two rows here. Okay. So, okay, good. Here, 4. Okay. So another position we want maybe is the Secretary General. Another position we want is Which other positions do you have? Academic, academic secretary, academic secretary. Then maybe sports and entertainment secretary, sports and entertainment secretary. Which other one? Can just call it social welfare secretary, or disability and what do you call it? Okay, you just call it social welfare. We can add any other later on. Social welfare, social welfare secretary. All right, representative. Okay, then we can click on go here to save them. And if we come to browse, we should see that we have those 6 positions. We can have them as 6. You remember we've not been entering this. Oh, okay, it's 0, 0, 0. I think we left this as if we leave it, if we come to structure, oh, you see this one is an integer description, and it's not supposed to be an integer, so you can't change that. It's good that this is occurring by clicking on change here, change. So you can click on change, and then you can come here, varchar, then you can enter, for example, 500. I think that's why it was refusing any value beyond 255. So save. Okay, so we still have the zeros, but it can be empty. By the way, if you click on structures here and click on change, default here, under default you can be able to change the value as null, meaning it can be empty. That is what null means. And you can also check this one here, null. It means it can be empty. It means that field can be empty. So let me just delete these zeros so that you can just have it as empty. Okay. Okay, so that's our positions table, and that is the data. We can add more when we want. We also want to add the positions candidates. We want to create a candidates table. So for the candidates table, can even have a look at some of this. Election candidate, election ID, blah, 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 blah. Okay, for the candidate, we can have the ID. We can have the ID, then you can have position ID. Before position ID, we can have the user ID. User ID. Then you can have the position they are vying for. So position ID. What else can we have? Position ID. ID. What else can we have? I'm just trying to think. Let me check. Let me check on the others, on downloads here. Candidate ID, party ID. We don't need party. Election ID. And maybe you can also have election ID, because they also want us to have this table, election. Did I write it, by the way? Yes, I want us to have election. Election can have ID, comma. It's also going to have election name and description. Name, description. So, description, like that. So here we can also have election ID. Election ID. Okay. For the election, we can also have the dates. Start date. The start date will also include the start time and end date. So it's date and time really. Okay, so let's create this table. Let's create this table, the candidates table. Okay, so just come here and then you click on new. So we have ID, which is auto increment. Have to zoom out. Okay, auto increment. Then we have user ID, then position ID. User ID should be an integer, then position ID. You want to know which position this candidate is running for, then which election. Election ID. Okay, so that's all we need. All of them are integers, so we don't need to change anything here. You can now just click on save. Oh, the name. The name is candidates. Candidate. Yeah, just candidates like that. Okay, then save. Okay, then you can have election. So new again, ID as usual, auto increment and primary key. So we want the name for the election. Then we want the description. Then we want the start date to give us also the time. Description is also voucher. Start date. We have date and time. We have date and time data types for MySQL, but just allow me to use int. Allow me to use int, then I'm going to show you how we're going to use that. So please, for now, just allow me to use int. Then I'm going to show you how we're going to be saving our date and time. I want to add one more. Column. So here you can change the number if you want to. I just want one, then go. So it should add one at the end. I just want to call this end date. It will also be an integer. Description here. So for the comments, this is the name of the election. Then details about the election. So something from the Constitution. Then voting starts at this time. Voting ends or closes. Voting closes at this time. So that's the end. Okay, so we can just give it the name. The name is election. You can just click save. Please enter a valid length. For the voucher. Okay, so for the voucher for name, we can have it at 50. This one can have it at 300 or something, as per the Constitution, blah blah blah, then save. Okay, for positions, we can just call it position instead of positions, because for the others we also call candidate election. We just call it position instead of positions. We can come here to structure, and then here change. Is that so? No column selected. Now let me see. How can I change the name? This one. Action here. Here we can drop the table, or we can edit, or we can rename. So rename to position. Just position. Go. What have I tried? Maybe I'm trying to do it at the wrong place. I'm just trying to see how am I supposed to change that name. Can't remember. I'm sure there is we have an SQL statement for changing the name, which I also can't remember, but you can write it here after we Google it. Okay, so let's just Google it. SQL command to change table name. So alter table this, rename to this. Okay, so let's use that. So we can just write here alter table positions, change name. You see, do we have a space for rename too? Rename to position, then semicolon, like that, then go. Okay, good. So you can see that indeed it has changed now. So now our table is called position. So the command for that is this: alter table, rename to, then the new table name. Thank you. Okay, so now our system is taking shape. We can have a table for results. We can have a table for results, and I'm just thinking of how we can format this. So we can do this much later. We postpone it for now so that I can think more about it. But for now, I think we can move on, and learn something else. So we're done with the database schema. So I think we can do the candidate registration. Okay,